Okay, I'm really going to try and speed this up now so we can get this done. The shadow of the past. Towards late 2021, we began to have some disagreements surrounding him maintaining a friendship with his ex-wife, Teresa. I was okay with it as long as I was known about, as long as there was transparency. However, I wasn't comfortable with them hanging out, going to dinner, having lunches, sharing locations on the Life 360 app. This was something we'd discussed several times. The first time I found out about them sharing locations, I was surprised and I asked him to stop. He said that he did. But this subject bothered me deeply. I tried to patiently communicate my concerns and discomfort, but my feelings were mostly shunned, ignored, disregarded. By this stage, we'd been in a relationship for almost 4 years. 4 years of navigating distance, of making sacrifices, of believing in us. I asked him if I would be able to write to Teresa, just to break the ice and reach out, or to try to be friends. I mean, why not, right? You guys are friends, so and we're, a thing, and should be fine, right? No big deal. In December of 2021, Grant and I sent each other Christmas gifts. I had a flight booked to come and see him, but the issue of his ex-wife being in the picture while I remained unknown to her and had created significant tension between us, a widening crack in our foundation. To make matters worse, his family experienced a loss, a death in the family. This made everything more difficult, more tender, and more raw. I had the flu during this season for 2 weeks in my isolated mountain home by myself for 2 weeks. Felt like I was on death's doorstep. When I started to regain my health, I began making preparations for my trip scheduled in January, arranging logistics with the kids, coordinating everything. I did end up writing to Teresa. She reacted badly. She sent the message to Grant asking about it. Later that night, he became irate with me over the phone about it. And then, without warning, without a chance at reconciliation or repair, he blocked me across all social media, across every platform we'd used to stay connected, abruptly and completely. The abyss. The pain of this was like nothing I had ever experienced before. Being blocked from across the world, feeling utterly helpless, and being able to be there for him, to comfort him in his loss of a family member, and then experiencing the loss of us. On top of that, he had been such a big part of my life, someone I was deeply connected to. The grief was unbearable. I spent weeks trying to reconcile with him via email, on and off, sending words into the void, hoping they'd reach him somehow. Eventually, we got back in touch. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. That was the first time in my life I had ever just had one thing on top of another, that I'd been that depressed. Well, sorry. Anyway, whatever. Other stories. But this is my story. In the later months, we worked on our idea of building an agency together again, trying to rebuild what had been broken. I had rescheduled my flight from January to March 2022, which I later had to reschedule again because the kids' dad canceled an agreement to watch them while I was gone. In early 2022, after the breakup and being blocked and so on, and being alone in the mountains and just, I got a young cat named Roxy as a companion to help me with my grief, my therapy cat. She was soft and warm and present, which I needed very much at that time. Meanwhile, okay. Shit, I need to hurry up. Okay, so meanwhile, my kid's dad had a new girlfriend. I had thought it would improve co-parenting between us. Instead, it seemed to make him even more cold towards me, which made communication regarding the kids very difficult, sometimes impossible. In the first few months of 2022 were brutal. Dealing with the breakup, dealing with the kid's dad being disrespectful towards me, I was drowning. I was driving for Uber, making the trek from the mountains down to the city, and I had a couple of incidents with passengers. It was tough, grinding, and soul-crushing. I decided I was done living in the mountains. Life was difficult there because of the seasons, having to travel almost an hour to go shopping or run basic errands. And now that the dream of Grant coming to live with me there seemed over, I didn't see the point of staying there anymore. The place reminded me of him. Of our walks, our camping at Mount Pinos, snow sledding, dinners at the clubhouse, hiking through the wilderness together. Every corner held a ghost of what we'd been. The move to the coast. I've always loved the coast and the beach, the way the ocean breathes and moves like a living thing. I asked the kids if they'd like to live in Ventura, as I couldn't find anything affordable right next to their school. I found a place, 2 rooms, to rent in a nice home shared with a couple of other working professionals. The kids were thrilled about living close to the beach, and it was the same amount of time to travel to their school as from the mountains, but a nicer drive. I asked Grant if he would be able to help me with a deposit for the move to Ventura, because I was really struggling financially, like Uber driving and not being able to do that and stuff. He agreed, and he said he was happy to help. He loaned me the money. While moving all my belongings from the mountains to the sea, my car broke down on a deserted, I'm going to have to say, okay, that's it for that part. So I'm going to continue this in the next part.